Sabra Minoka say Baumia is trending. Why? Because Baumia program bi ode buy or see gold for oil no apparently no ene na NDC for use which is stabilizing the cedi. Okay, I'll come back to it. Now, Minoka say the World Bank on the report be ababe tuja say the whole Africa, okay, the best performing currency within the first 8 months, the cedi. Now, any magic. Because of initiative via Dr. Baumia de Bias initiative no gold for oil. Now, Osha has say now in October, Bank of Ghana is in Betuja say they are injecting 4.5 billion cedis into $1 billion into the cedi. So at the end of the day, no, they stabilize the cedi because that cedi no 13 cedis per dollar. In Tiscania this same no demand of dollars, amount for per dollars be brebe no. Demand number from because the dollars be brave economy now. Per dollar so there's no much demand that prices and the dollar rates cost so. You be kind article we be into screens no so because we want you to look at this. Or say World Bank declares Ghana cedi best performing currency in Africa for the first 8 months 2025. So the cedi now is the best performing currency, and we also learning that this particular intervention and program no was Cedi. According to Bank of Ghana, a year governor party said it was Cedi the gold for oil. Baumia de buy and see you better gold, gold no near the oil into $dollars. Aha, sa ni iwia ya ton near ya share that is it. Now, share article na what has iwia na yen so or say because in same we are banon. Ebeto just say NDC for $4.5 billion share cedi to stabilize it no. Some NPP for Mubuofu or say NDC has injected $4.5 billion into cedi, enough to construct Accra, Kumasi, other roads. The party says Kana omudia share a year a friend is cedi nimu to make sure they say the cedi is strong. You bet me this same sikano $4.5 billion. You bet me the Accra Kumasi road. And that money cries almost like a friend is saying 20% of the entire GDP of Ghana. Yes. Or say the member of parliament for Achim Suedro Kennedy Nyakun or say has criticized the National Democratic Congress government for injecting what he described as a whooping amount of money to stabilize the cedi. According to the New Patriotic Party NPP lawmaker, the John Dramani Mahama-led administration has so far injected about 4.5 billion into the economy to support the local currency. In a social media post on Thursday, October 8, Mr. Osei said such an amount could have been channeled into infrastructure projects that will have yielded more significant economic benefits. In the other party says, see now, Moody $4.5 billion economy no, economy no. At the end of dollar never for more a cost through. It is not really going to change anything because if you don't know here in Ghana, dollar price is a bit stable, but still the price of food is still up. Okay, and certain cost. So, but then, and sign from last year to this year, personally, nothing has changed. Prepaid water bill out and still the same thing. In other cases, cost pay out as one tier and also as one call and cost. You doing injecting 4.5 billion into the cedi, no? Oh yeah, ma, you will sell your then economic messiah and said then it doesn't make sense. You see, or see the social media post on Thursday, October 8th, Mr. Osei says such amounts could have been used or channeled into infrastructure projects that will have yielded more significant economic benefits. So far, the NDC government has injected $4.5 billion into forest market to shore up the city's strength against the dollar since they took over in January. The amount, if invested in the underlisted infrastructure, could generate quadruple returns within few years, part of his post read. Into a part says, NDC for many abra. Almost say almost the year your friend is saying 4.5 billion to your friend is saying share forest send be amount for $1 on binyano say sika na omo yes ano you meeting the rules infrastructure put the bibra and who see only profits a baby bre. Or see further argue that the money could have been used to construct the major national projects such as the Accra Kumasi Road, the Eastern Railway Line, the Western Railway Line, Takrade Kumasi, and the Winneba Cape Coast Road all together. The MP saying says Sikana NDC for Eddie SM and na Obima control at forcing is forcing kwasianema on social media, and it doesn't make sense. Because at the end of the day, Ghana ni no pesi enti niema so enti niema so na dollar no things affecting her. still prepaid ne water bill was ra to him or her no onya hwe the moment is face value ya bomb sambra ne ato forcing is forcing mahama enkahu say ka no ye say pese ye friend is saying your friend is saying Eastern Railway line ye bitim dia ye pese ye Accra Kumasi road ye bitim dia Western Railway line ye bitimi cross and dia Takra de Kumasi and Winneba Cape Coast road all together get $4.5 billion your friend is saying Cedi musina be a Cedi no e be strong na amanfo aka say aban e common sense. Or say growth of an economy depends on the kind of economic investment policy we decide to adopt. A serious nation should not be repeating the past mistakes that led us into the very difficult economic situation, he noted. Now he's bemoaning, say, all these things are echoing Obia Yebi Pain, which is the new patriotic party. And at the end of the day, it didn't augur well for them. They lost the elections. The economy became so much difficult for people to bear. And now NDC is doing the same thing. Beginning the Ebebo some brand new, but and the ripple effects, no. Idea, perhaps you can contain yourself as a government and even the country. Or something to say. Meanwhile, the Bank of Ghana has announced it will begin exchange FS intermediation under its domestic gold purchase program in October 2025. The central bank plans to sell at least 1.5 billion in the market through twice weekly price competitive auctions open to all licensed banks. And you see here, cotton forest ama banks. The dollars mama say be amount for some per dollars ombenya na ama dollar rates na because if the dollar demand is high, na dollar ni hwa a kosro basically me $1 me $1,000 obia per dollar. Make man say okay me $1,000 bia o ma me 20% profit. Say yiri so na ebi ni hwa kra make me increase me profit. So that makes the dollar to the cedi ratio go higher. At the end of the day, no, dollar and strength, no, beat the cedi weakens against the dollar, and opposite this can beat the ABB. So that is aside from that. To apply say, see, on the current project are Ecoso, which is say, the Bank of Ghana, go to make money in the gold for oil program or the buy. So that is the whole issue currently at Ewaha. Meanwhile, John Dramani Mahama or the same Biaba Betujas and Ano or share the Public Accounts Committee. And he was really shocked to the bone. Say, if me beside auditor, say auditor, sika we will see a require maintenance, or see meaning. Mama says, I'm question name and a two so chat. Yes, why? Because at the end of the day, no, a Ghana for ye sika. I don't know, or Sanko for no, I was see providing a certain kind of court within 2 weeks. Pa near for mon consabum. It's for this is the last video. You can share intino. You can share this video of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama or the tuja on how he wants people omudiga ne sika omutimi accounted for no. And your court in sense be a too long process. In Sawam straight no akoka agrada ho. Agrada ho. So that is the situation currently. What I say Obia can one sem. You can share the video of what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama said. Say ye babaka it for ye better us because ye babaka DBC yes definitely because if we all ye updated the bro and in summer His Excellency John Dramani Mahama or the tuja na nyamebwa ichna will bring more life to your desk.
Recently I've been watching the Public Accounts Committee and it's so pathetic. You know, why must we every year congregate at the Public Accounts Committee and then you hear all kinds of atrocious things. I mean, recklessness with public funds and resources. And so I have a meeting on Thursday with the Chief Justice, the Attorney General, and others to find a final solution to this Auditor General's report. That persons who are found guilty of infractions or do not follow due procedure or lead to loss of public resources, we must have a fast-track process to Nsawam, Fast track before you see you in Nsawam, 6 months. Until we do that, until there's a deterrent, we're going to come every year and they say total misappropriation and infractions of found out by the Auditor General is about 15 billion cedis. I mean, if we save 15 billion cedis, can you imagine what it could do? And so we're going to have a meeting, we're going to bring some. We've not fully implemented the constitutional provision there's a part of the provision that says after the Public Accounts Committee has sat on the Auditor General's report, Parliament must set up a committee. What we don't know is whether it should be a parliamentary committee or it's a committee not necessarily made of parliamentarians to implement the findings of the Auditor General. Right now, what we use is the audits, the ARICs. Every department is supposed to set up an ARIC. But once they've come from the Public Accounts Committee, virtually nobody follows up on what the recommendations that were given. And so the audit reports implementation committees are not working. And so we must find a way where we are able to create a deterrent until people know that you can be held responsible for these things that you do. They'll continue to do the same thing. And so after Thursday, I'm sure we'll come up with some way where persons who are culpable of misusing the resources of the people